Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Buck Discussions podcast, the channel, man. Yo, whatever you want to call it. It is your boy J Coop, man, back with another J Coop convo, you feel me? And in this discussion, I kind of just want to bring you guys a little bit of an NBA Finals preview, you know what I'm saying? Just because I feel like, personally, this may be one of the best NBA Finals we've had in previous years, you know what I'm saying? Just because when you're talking about both sides, from the Golden State Warriors to the Boston Celtics, starting with the Golden State Warriors, man, you got players like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and you also have young developing players like Jonathan Kuminga, and you also have Jordan Poole. And then on the Boston Celtics side of things, man, that team is still pretty young themselves, you know what I'm saying, with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They have players like Grant Williams and Robert Williams, you know what I'm saying, and even Marcus Smart is still pretty young himself, you know what I'm saying. But before we get into all that, I kind of just want to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on this Game 7 that took place last Sunday between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat, man. So without wasting any more of you guys' time, man, let's get straight into this video.
Hey, yo, foreigner, you crazy for this?
Okay. Yeah, that thing I'm jab riding when I'm left hooking. Fiends say they love me cause they know I keep that sack moving. Sad to say, but this the life that I have grew in. I had to hustle, skipping class, man, I was truant. I can flip some packs and teach.
So to start things off in this Game 7, man, I think it's safe to say we have to talk about the Miami Heat side of things first, just because they really did not have a lot of bright spots, you know what I'm saying, to say the least. When it came to this game, there was only 3 players that scored in double figures, man. So I think that pretty much lets you guys know everything you need to know, man. In the Game 7, 3 players decided to come out and drop double figures. Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. And one of them being Jimmy Butler, who had an outstanding game, man. And honestly, bro, I'm really sick and tired of seeing all this Jimmy Butler slander. You know what I'm saying? Just because he took that last shot at the end of the game like he was supposed to. Listen, put this into perspective, man. Jimmy Butler played 48 minutes in this game. You really think he wanted to do 5 more minutes of overtime? No, he doesn't, bro. He doesn't. So the fact that he shot that 3-pointer trying to win the game because no one else was obviously on shit. Bam Adebayo came out here with 25 points, which was pretty solid, you know what I'm saying? This is probably the best game he's played all series when it comes to his all-around game, because he came out here with, like I said, 25 points. He had 11 rebounds. He had 4 assists, and he was just a lot more aggressive than from what we've seen in previous games and series in general, you know what I'm saying? Bam Adebayo has definitely been very lackluster throughout the playoffs. Besides this game, he was one of the only people that came out and decided to somewhat help Jimmy Butler. And the other one being Kyle Lowry, and he still played fucking terrible. He ended up finishing the game with 15 points. He had 2 turnovers. He had 6 rebounds. He was also shooting 16% from the field, which is obviously not ideal. And then he was also shooting 33% from the field. So, yeah, man, the only, excuse I can even somewhat give to Kyle Lowry is he was dealing with a groin injury, you know what I'm saying? And obviously when you are a small point guard, you really rely heavily on that groin just for all types of subtle movements, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, the Miami Heat, they definitely came out in a Game 7 and just played a terrible game. But honestly, one thing that you can say about the Miami Heat is, as bad as they did play, they were still very much in this game, you know what I'm saying? Miami Heat, they ended up missing 8 free throws as well, so that's 8 free points that they just left at the free throw line, you know what I'm saying? That very much could have helped them, obtain this W, because they only ended up losing by 4 points, you know what I'm saying? So you make 4 of those 8 free throws, we have a whole different ball game, you know what I'm saying? But as for the Boston Celtics side of things, this is definitely a type of performance you want to see from the 3-star players. Now listen, I'm not going to sit here and say they played perfect the whole game, because those last 3 to 4 minutes were just terrible, bro. It literally looked like the Boston Celtics were just like trying to give the game away to the Miami Heat, you know what I'm saying? But as for the performances from the 3-star players, man, you really can't ask anything else of these 3 guys. Jason Tatum came out here and dropped 26 points. He had 10 rebounds. He had 6 assists. And his efficiency was pretty good, you know what I'm saying? He shot 42% from the field, and he shot 57% from the 3-point line, you know what I'm saying? So that's very impressive. And then Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown came out here and decided to drop 24 points apiece, you know what I'm saying? So that definitely helps your squad. When 2 of your other best players decide to come out here and give you 20 plus, I really don't see you guys losing a game when 3 players on the team decide to come out here and drop 20 plus points. So yeah, man, Jaylen Brown, he was very impressive this game. I am not even going to lie. He had 24 points. That's what he ended up finishing with. He had 6 rebounds, and he also had 6 assists. But like I said with Jason Tatum, his efficiency was through the roof, and honestly, bro, you could say the exact same about Jaylen Brown, just because he came out here and shot 53% from the from the field, and then 20% from the 3-point line, which obviously isn't that ideal. But when you have players like You have players like Derek White who come out here and hit 66% of his three-pointers in this game. Who cares if Jaylen Brown misses a couple of threes? You know what I'm saying? But as for Marcus Smart, I feel like Marcus Smart's 24 points were probably the most important performance in this game. For the people that did watch the game, you guys saw clear as day how important Marcus Smart was in this game. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's been in and out of the lineup throughout the playoffs. And for Celtic fans, you guys could not be happier that he played this game because there were so many big shots Marcus Smart hit down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Smart, he's kind of like that type of player who will miss like 8 to 10 threes in a row, but once it's time to hit that very important shot, he's definitely going to hit that shot, and that's exactly what he did this whole game. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I'm really, really impressed with how Marcus Smart has been playing throughout this playoffs, man. I feel like, you know, Marcus Smart as a player has just reevaluated his whole career, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to say it. You know what I'm saying? He came into the NBA as like a very well-known defender, and now that he's out here dropping 24 points in a Game 7 against one of the better teams in the league is just very impressive. So shout out to Marcus Smart, man. I feel like he's definitely doesn't really get the love he deserves. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that pretty much wraps up this Game 7. You know what I'm saying? Now that we have the NBA Finals here, it's a whole different ball game, man, and I'm here to bring you guys the information. So without any more waiting, let's get straight into it. But hey, now that we're talking about this Golden State Warriors and this Boston Celtics NBA Finals, man, I kind of just want to go ahead and start things off with the Golden State Warriors, man. The leading scorer in the playoffs so far is obviously Stephen Curry. He's averaging 25.9 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Curry has obviously been leading the way when it comes to this Golden State Warriors team, you know what I'm saying? And at the beginning of the playoffs, they ended up going against a depleted Denver Nuggets team. Now, I'm not going to sit here and talk about all the asterisks when it comes to, you know, the Warriors playing so-and-so and they were hurt, you know what I'm saying? No one cares about all that right now. We're just talking about the matchups they have previously played and the matchup that they're going to have next, you know what I'm saying? So the Golden State Warriors, they ended up playing one of the best players in the league in Nikola Jokic in the first round, you know what I'm saying? And they did a pretty good job. I believe they got them out of there in like 5 games. So they definitely did their thing with the Denver Nuggets, who would probably be one of the better teams if 2 of their star players were healthy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the Golden State Warriors have definitely been just rolling their way through the playoffs. That second round, they ended up going against John Morant and the Grizzlies. You know what I'm saying? Even though that was a little bit more of a challenge for the Golden State Warriors. And I'm really not too sure why. It seems that the Memphis Grizzlies always seem to match up pretty well against the Golden State Warriors, even without John Morant. You know what I'm saying? That's when that was probably the biggest challenge for the Golden State Warriors so far in this playoffs, because the Memphis Grizzlies took them to 6 games. And I believe one of those games, John Morant was out, and they also won by like 50 points that game. So that at that point, that was almost kind of like a little red flag for the Warriors. It's like, how are you guys losing by 50 to a team without their best player in John Morant? So yeah, man. To me personally, though, I personally do believe that this is probably going to be the biggest challenge the Golden State Warriors face all playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like I said, man, they've had hella time to rest because they've got their series, you know, out the way pretty soon. But now that they're actually going to play another great defensive team, and probably the best defensive team, like I said, they played all playoffs this far, it's definitely going to be a challenge for the Golden State Warriors. Because I'm not even going to lie, man, the Golden State Warriors, they got kind of let off the hook even last series, man, going against a team without a certified second option. Now, I'm not going to sit here and blame the Warriors because of who they got matched up against. That's not their fault, but I'm just saying that the path that they have taken to get to where they're at now, it's not even going to be as close to as hard as who they're going to be playing right now. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, they went up against a team with just Luka himself and Jalen Brunson as the second option. So it's kind of just like, you tell me which team you'd rather play, a Dallas Mavericks team with just Luka or a Boston Celtics team that has great defense, great offense, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all I'm trying to get across. That's pretty much my main point, is that this challenge for the Golden State Warriors is probably going to be the biggest challenge that they have faced all playoffs. So the Boston Celtics definitely had a completely different path from the Golden State Warriors, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because the Boston Celtics have had to face 2 of the top 5 players in the league in the first 2 rounds, you know what I'm saying? In that first round, they ended up going against Kevin Durant, who a lot of people believe is still the best player in the league right now, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that the Boston Celtics did that to one of the best offensive players, one of the best scorers in the league and probably the best scorer the league has ever seen, is just very impressive. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they clamped Kevin Durant down, like I've never heard anyone be able to say that they clamped Kevin Durant down. And the Boston Celtics, they did that, man. I don't know the exact averages that they held Kevin Durant to, but they definitely did their fucking thing on Kevin Durant, who is, like I said, the best scorer of all time. And then you get to that second round, they ended up going against a former Finals MVP and a former champion from last year. You know what I'm saying? Giannis just won a championship last season. And the only thing I could say about the series was that Chris Middleton was obviously gone. So we don't really know how the series could have gone with Chris Middleton here. It went to a Game 7, so that kind of just shows, man, this series could have went either way, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the Boston Celtics ended up playing pretty great defense on Giannis Antetokounmpo, you know what I'm saying? Giannis had a couple great games throughout that series, but nothing where it was just like, this is the dominant Giannis that we all love and know, you know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of surprising to see this Boston Celtics team be able to come out here and clamp two of the best players in the league, you know what I'm saying? Two of the most dominant players in their own rights. So the fact that they came out and did this and just put on a class performance against two of the top 5 players in the league was just outstanding. And then, not even to mention this previous series against the Miami Heat, who were also one of the best defensive teams in the league themselves. Yeah, man, the Boston Celtics have just been doing their thing all playoffs. Like I said, Jason Tatum has been averaging 27 points. And then when you have players like Al Horford who have just been, you know, providing so much energy for this squad. Just about a year and a half ago, Al Horford was just chilling in OKC, not getting any playing time. Now he's out here in the NBA Finals, being one of the most and the biggest contributors for this team. So it's just very great to see when you talk about this Boston Celtics team, and the fact that they came out here in this third round and knew that, like, you know, our job isn't finished. We still have a whole other round to play, and we have to get to the NBA Finals. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie. The Boston Celtics, you could definitely see how tired they were in this Game 7, you know what I'm saying? And same for Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, you know what I'm saying? It has been a very, very long playoff run for this Boston Celtics team, besides that first round against Kevin Durant and the Nets. But other than that, man, both of these series have been 7-game series, and my prediction, man, I also predict this Golden State Warriors and this Boston Celtics series going to Game 7. So that'll be 21 games that the Boston Celtics play within 3 series. Just think about that. If it goes to 7, that is. But just think about that. This could possibly be 21 games that the Boston Celtics could be playing within 3 series. So, yeah, man, they definitely have a lot of work ahead of them. But the Boston Celtics have shown me no reason that they can't get the job done. You know what I'm saying? They have played great defense on some of the best offensive players in the league we've seen in the past 10, 20 years, even all time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really expect anything to change with this Boston Celtics team, and I expect them to play pretty great defense on the Golden State Warriors and vice versa, you know what I'm saying? The Golden State Warriors, they might not have big, bulky defenders like Jason Tatum, like Jaylen Brown, but Curry, he's honestly, if you ask me, a pretty underrated defender. Like, I know that sounds crazy. He's 6'3", he's not that big. But Steph Curry, when it comes to his IQ, he knows where to be on the court when it comes to just his defensive presence. Like, he's not going to come out here and give you 5 steals. That's not Steph Curry's job, you know what I'm saying? But he can, you know, he can play pretty good one-on-one defense if a player's somewhat around his height. So, yeah, man, this is definitely going to be a challenging series for both sides. But my prediction, man, I got the Boston Celtics in 7, man. Like I said, there's probably going to be 21 games that they play within 3 series, so they have a lot of work to do. But yeah, man, that pretty much wraps up this preview for the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics series, man. If you guys found this video useful, if you guys found it informational in any type of way, man, or if you guys even just enjoyed it, make sure to leave it a like, you know what I'm saying? It really helps us out over here at the Bucks Discussions Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Just to get our videos out there in the YouTube algorithm a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? It just helps people view our stuff a little bit more. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys tuning into this video, man. And until next time, man, stay safe, enjoy basketball, and peace.
In the jungle like I'm Conan, count up with both hands, switch the flow like it was broken. I'm on the road, man, making plays just like DeRozan. I shoot my shot, and that shit wetter than the ocean. I brag a lot, but with the wind and come the boasting. I made a lot from them apartments that I sold, and he didn't make it up to college, so them streets where he enrolled in. I know I'm a scholar from the moments that I was exposed in.